Hello, my name is Ariel Simões Rose, and this is my reflection for the Curriculum Frameworks assignment. I'm going to share 10 takeaways that stood out to me from the readings. 5 are from the infant toddler framework, and 5 are from the preschool framework. These are the ideas that really made me think about how we support young children, how we support young learners in our classroom. First, I'll talk about the infant toddler framework. One of the biggest things that stood out to me is that strong relationships are the foundation for all learning in infancy and toddlerhood. And the framework reminds us that trust and connection with the caregivers help children to feel safe, and when they are safe, they feel safe to explore. Another important point is how the routines are seen as learning opportunities. Things like diapering, feeding, nap time are not just routines, but chances to build language, social skills, emotional security. I also learned that observation is a very important tool for teachers. Watching children closely helps us to understand their interests and developmental needs, and it guides us on how we plan the activities we provide. How do you set up your next provocation, your next interactions, your next invitations? That's one thing that helps a lot in immersion curriculum classes. You listen to the children, you watch them play, you see what they are interested in, then you connect the knowledge to what you know they should be learning, they should be developing. Another important thing highlighted in the framework is the importance of play. It's very important for infant and toddlers to play. And even very young children, they learn through exploration, curiosity, and simple play experiences. Finally, I noticed the emphasis on the framework on family partnerships. The family know their child best, and working together creates consistency and trust, and that can be crucial for the child's growth. So when you have family, school, and child together, you have success. Speaking now about the preschool framework. For preschool, what stood out to me first was the idea of intentional teaching. Remember that in the infant toddler framework, we observe the children, we listen to them. We can use that to prepare an environment, an activity with specific goals in mind, but we still follow their lead, we follow their interest. The framework also talks about language and literacy being developed through everyday interactions. Things like conversations, singing a song, storytelling, they all build early literacy skills naturally. That's one thing that happens a lot at school. You have children that want to do show and tell. They bring a toy, they bring a picture from their vacation, and they are sharing, they are talking about it. They are interacting with their peers, they are interested, they are building connections, literacy. The framework also highlights the focus on social emotional learning. Helping children learn to manage their feelings, build friendships, solve conflicts is just as important as academics. So it's very important for a child to learn that they might not have a turn at their second. How do they deal with that? How do they share? How do they negotiate with their peers? The framework also stresses inclusion and equity. And every child, regardless of ability, background, language, they all deserve access to learn experiences that are meaningful, that are supportive, that are intentional. Lastly, I learned that assessment should be ongoing and based on observation, not just normal testing. This takeaway really stood out to me because when you pay attention, when you watch, you can see where they're at. And that interaction, when you play, when you're together, that gives the teacher the best information about their development. So playing is learning, playing is assessment, playing is very important. This takes away really stood out to me because they don't show the frameworks as just academic learning, but about the whole child, social, emotional, physical, cognitive learning. And both the infant toddler and the preschool framework, they guide us to create a classroom where the children feel safe, supportive, included. And I look forward to applying these ideas in my own teaching. So that's my reflection. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.